All right, everyone. So we'll take off from, yesterday we talked about how are we blocking receiving. So so seems like our minds are quite oriented to look at more, the stuff that we don't want. It's almost like we believe that, what is good will not enter my life. So we spend a lot of time trying to block anything which we consider bad. This is not good, it should not happen. That's not good, it should not happen. I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. Right? And the message we are sending out to the universe is what? I'm not in the receiving mode. So I got another thought this morning, and I want us to look at it very closely. What is the difference between taking and receiving? What is the difference between taking and receiving? So anybody wants to say anything about that? What's your, it will require a little bit of thought. This thought opened up for me last night. I've been dwelling on, where is my focus and how am I blocking receiving? And this thought started coming. And you're so busy focusing on taking that you don't have time for receiving. Yes, Vipinji.
Sir, I can interpret it like taking is putting a lot of food in your plate and you're not eating, you're just collecting. And taking is like that. And receiving is you're actually enjoying each bit of the food. And that's like only way I could say.
Okay. Anybody else? What is the difference between taking and receiving? And what is the difference between a receiver and a taker?
Sir,
Anybody?
sir, what I feel taking means you you want something, or there's an endeavor to have something and then you work towards it and then you take that. Receiving is, I think, being open to receive what the universe is giving to you.
Right. Okay. Anybody else?
And maybe universe has a bigger plans rather what you
Yeah.
you may be trying to take a small thing, but actually you may be uh, deserving a bigger one, or universe is giving you in abundance. So it is limiting. So taking is limiting, receiving is abundance.
That's correct. Yeah, so there is a big difference between takers and receivers. You might have noticed that. Okay. There is a different consciousness that a taker or a receiver will have. You know? See, receivers are open to whatever is being offered and they are able to generously accept it with gratitude and, if necessary, even with humility, right? And if you see the difference between the receiver and the taker, you will find that it has something to do with self-worth also. A taker takes because he has an agenda, and a taker usually has a consciousness which is based on lack, that I don't have enough, lack and limitation. Like yesterday with that exercise, we might have realized how much of limitation we are operating from, how much of distrust of the universe we are operating from, right? And a taker simply does not feel worthy of receiving. Okay, so he takes in order to ensure that he has enough. Are you getting that? I'm not worthy of receiving the gift from the God or from the universe, so I have to take. Taking is almost like grabbing, मुझे छीनना पड़ेगा तब मिलेगा मुझे. And the receiver, on the other hand, would accept what is given because he knows that he is worthy of receiving. And another interesting thing is that this the receiver, whenever it is appropriate and whenever he is able to, extends the giving in one form or the other to others. See, people who are in the receiving mode are also very good in the giving mode. Whereas you might notice that the receivers, I just yesterday reflected on my life journey and I said, hey, listen, there are plenty of takers in this world. They make wonderful strategies in order to take, they manipulate people in order to take, right? And they just take without any desire to give anything in return. So they're looking around for people who are useful. कि भाई इससे क्या मिलेगा? What will I get from this person? And they just want to take and take and take and take, and they have no desire to give anything in return unless there is something in it for them. They are very clear. If I give this, then I'll get this. Then only they'll give. And it's very interesting. This mindset comes with some sense of entitlement. They have this belief that the world or someone owes them what they are taking. Now, question is, what will happen when you start to realize, do you want to be a taker or a receiver? Yes, Vipinji.
I had come across a line yesterday which relates to this.
Can you speak a little loud? I'm not able to hear you very well.
Hello, is it clear now?
Slightly.
I don't know the issue. I came across a line yesterday. Are you supplying or applying? Means you are taking some information and supplying to others without applying to yourself. So that is taker. And so always try to become a supplier after start supplying after applying. It's a receiver. Start supplying without applying. It's a taker.
Okay.
That's
So the
what.
question that I want us to dwell on is that what if I just focus on receiving rather than taking? How will it change?
I should share something. You have to tell whether I'm right or wrong. I had a problem in my health since last few months, and everybody says ये मुझे भी लग रहा था कि something is not good, but then I found a logic for it, that the universe is asking me, you are not leaving space for others on the stage, you are not delegating, let me snatch something out of you. Your voice is not good now, you are not able to speak good, so you have to leave the space for others. It's the way of universe. So I received it as a message, and it was comfortable for me to do more, and the moment these things are done, the voice will come back. I don't know I'm able to communicate properly the message or not.
So can you explain it one more time?
I had an issue in my voice because of some medical side effect, and I am not able to speak much. I feel tired during the speech and sometimes sleepy, so I have to delegate the things to others. So I received it as a message that you have to delegate. You are not delegating, so I'm taking something away from you to make it happen. From universe, I got this message yesterday, and when the things are in line, you will again be all right. So this is receiving and then becoming comfortable. Otherwise, I was moving around like this. खांसी होना ये सब होना चल रहा है साथ साथ, कभी कम कभी ज़्यादा. So this is my receiving. I don't know.
Yeah, it's making a lot of sense to me because I realized as I was thinking last night that one of the very big shifts that took place in my life in 2019 after I did this program of Access was that rather than being a taker, I just allowed myself to receive whatever the universe was offering. Okay? And I worked on, increasing my receiving.
Yes.
And the more I was able to be in allowance of people and life and everything, the more my receiving was increasing.
Yes.
So that's the time when I participated in the Access Money Workbook program also. And I started to realize how much I am blocking the energy, because any receiving will be in the form of energy only, even though it looks like a material thing, right? So with my mindset, I have been always blocking the receiving. So on the one side, there is absolute, rich universe.
Yes.
There is plenty for everybody, right? And yet, from early childhood, we have been programmed कि नहीं तुमको लेना होगा. You'll have to do something. You'll have to make a strategy, right?
Yes.
So we learn this tricks, okay, if I do like this, then I'll get like this. If I do like this, and the more these strategies that we've been using, the more we've been blocking the free flow of receiving into our life. And, instead of living a life of ease, knowing fully well that I'm protected, I'm looked after. Okay.
Yes.
Now the paradox is कि your mind says कि अच्छा फिर मैं कुछ नहीं करूं, मैं बैठ जाऊं. That is also not true.
No. That's something you introspect for other things and let the things be with other people.
Yeah, that's when the very famous saying from our scriptures is कि भाई तुम कर्म किए जाओ, फल की चिंता मत करो.
And
The receiver will keep doing whatever he has to do. Right?
that made
Actually,
me
he's operating in a giving mode. You see, he's giving his services.
Yes.
He's giving his 100% to whatever he is doing. Right? He's not doing something in order to receive.
Yeah.
There's no formula he's applying कि भाई इतना करूंगा तो इतना मिलने वाला है. He doesn't do that.
Need not to calculate so much that you cannot calculate. You cannot be like this.
Yeah. So if you are absolute, see, a couple of things which come to my mind is you need a lot of trust. Right?
First and foremost requirement.
That is why they say, even in in one of the classes I was attending, I asked the teachers, I say, listen, why do I have money scarcity in my life? And that was the time I had a lot of money scarcity going on. And I said, why is it that I am putting in so much effort? I am intelligent, I'm educated, I have a lot of experience and all that. And why is it that I don't get money proportional to what I'm putting out there, to my efforts? He said, that's the problem, efforts. So I said, okay, so without effort, how will I get? He says, focus on becoming a receiver rather than a taker. I didn't get it at that time. The words even did not register in my mind, But what did register was, the second thing he told me was that, listen, I am 100% sure that you keep all your relationships at a distance. So I said, yeah. Then he said, then why don't you learn the 5 elements of, intimacy? Then he says, haven't you done the foundation class? I said, yes, I have. And don't you remember this was taught in that class? So Fadafat went and looked at the manual, and there it was, the 5 elements of intimacy. Trust, honor, trust, allowance, gratitude, vulnerability. And I realized that the more I start operating from there, because it's not only the relationship with people. It's the relationship with the universe itself. You tell me, let us say that you have a relationship with someone. Let's say he's a very, very multimillionaire fellow, right? And you have a relationship with that person.
Yeah.
And the relationship is of trust, allowance, gratitude, vulnerability, and all that. And would you not trust that whatever you require, that man will take care of you?
Definitely I will.
I might be his sevak also. He will take care of more than what I want, right? But if I don't trust that man, then I will be making all sorts of strategies कि इससे कैसे ऐठा जाए पैसे, how to take out money out from this fellow.
Perfectly.
So imagine that we have a relationship like that with the universe, where there is no honor, there is no trust, there is no allowance, there is no gratitude, and there is no vulnerability. Vulnerability means to drop all our defenses and be open to receive. So yesterday's exercise, if you did it, if you didn't, you can do it now. We asked people to make a list of all the things that they don't want. तुमको क्या नहीं चाहिए उसकी लिस्ट बनाओ. So it's such a long bloody list you'll make, you know. I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to be insulted. I don't want to be humiliated. I don't want to be betrayed. I don't want, you know, people's anger. I don't want people's criticism. Long. Where is that coming from? If I'm operating from honor, trust, allowance, you know, gratitude and vulnerability, do I have to be bothered about what I don't want?
No.
As a matter of fact, I'll be in allowance to all things and say, कि जो तेरा ले लो.
Yeah, that's the same thing. I think I received this illness also as a positive note, and it will go whenever.
Right. But see, this is why I brought this up. What is the difference between a taker and a receiver? Taker has to take. लेना पड़ेगा मुझे, नहीं मिलेगा नहीं तो. Right?
ये मेरा है, मुझे दो, लाओ, मेरी चीज है ये.
हाँ, मुझे दो. तो वो एक entitlement, there is an entitlement there also. कि मुझे तो मिलना ही चाहिए. So that's where I think coming back to this whole business of what's my relationship with the universe. If my relationship is of honor, trust, allowance, gratitude and vulnerability, I'll be completely open to the universe and say, hey, listen, my dear universe, whatever you're giving to me is a prasad, whether I like or I don't like. So my obsession with ये नहीं होना चाहिए, this should not happen, that will go away, na?
Yes. And
I'll never be worried कि जो मुझे नहीं चाहिए वो कहीं मुझे ना मिल जाए. Correct?
Yep.
And it will put me more in the receiving mode, because now I'm saying, hey, listen, universe, I'm not putting any conditions in your way. Whatever you think is good for me, please let me have it. I am willing to receive it. I'm not even asking you. I know you will give me what I need. And then really the miracles start happening.
Yep.
You think of something, it starts happening. It's only our own skepticism and doubt and suspicion. ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? You know, all that stuff. Okay, Abhinav, go ahead.
See, in my life, what I feel is that, where areas where I am a taker, or the moment when I am a taker, are the moment where I operate out of some kami. I don't know what word to use in English. Something is miss. Something I don't have it. I have it and I need it. And when I operate out of abundance, or when I operate out of being one with the universe, that is the time I'm receiving. I'm a receiver.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now, when are we one with anybody or the universe? When you are honoring the universe, you know, you're trusting the universe, you're in allowance of the universe. That is when you can be one with the universe, na? Am I right?
Correct.
Otherwise, can you be one with anything? When you are one with someone or something or the universe or whatever, there is no need of putting up any barriers or defensive mechanism कि भाई ये नहीं होना चाहिए भैया. Hey, universe, give me everything, but don't give me pain. Universe, give me everything, don't give me suffering. But the universe is saying, hello, this is something you have to experience. So universe says you're blocking my design. Okay. So that is the thought for the day, guys. Think on this. Am I a taker or a receiver? Yes, Vipinji.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I found a word चाहिए, which is a filter to find out the right and wrong thing. जहाँ पे भी आप use करें, आपको ये करना चाहिए था is a conflict starter, and it will block your all energy.
That is like the word want, no? It indicates lack.
आपने ऐसा करना चाहिए था, आपने वैसा करना चाहिए था, ये करना चाहिए, आपको वो करना चाहिए, वहीं पे सब झगड़ा शुरू होता है.
Great. So this is our task for the day, that keep on observing moment by moment, or whenever you remember, that am I being a taker or am I just being open to receive? See, open to receive means I am willing to receive whatever I get. I am not at all focused on the outcome. It doesn't mean you can have a thought about it. Okay, this is the outcome I desire. With the rider on top of that, when we say I'm control, that means that I'm telling the universe, hey, listen, I trust you completely, and I'm giving up my obsession to try and control the outcome. I will take the outcome which you give me. You may be surprised that he gives you more than you even want, or more than what you think you need. That is called a life of miracles. Are you open for that? See, these are just words to you right now, maybe. Okay, but if you be in this inquiry, okay, am I being a taker now or am I a receiver? As a receiver, my dear universe, whatever you give me, I shall accept it as prasad. Right? If you go to a mandir, if they give you a prasad, will you say that this is very bitter? ये कड़वा है, मुझे नहीं चाहिए. They'll say नहीं प्रसाद है भाई, प्रसाद तो खाना ही पड़ेगा. Okay, so that's it. Anybody wants to say something? Any thought? Any question you have? None. Very good. So time for Hasina Ji's Shairi.
On a lighter note, जिन में तो बिटर थोड़ा सा डालते ही है ना.
हाँ, तो करेले में भी थोड़ा मीठा डाल ही देते हैं ना. सौंफ भी डाल देते हैं उसमें.
करेक्ट.
कई लोग गुड़ भी डाल देते हैं.
गुड़ भी डाल देते हैं.
मैंने तो गन्ने के जूस में करेले का जूस मिला के पिला दिया था लोगों को.
गन्ने के जूस में करेले का रस डाला.
When I make different combinations, तो करेले के जूस में गन्ने का जूस मिला के पिलाया था.
So what was the reaction?
अच्छा था कि कुछ कुछ मिठास भी आ रही, कुछ कड़वापन भी आ रहा, मिक्सर हो गया दोनों का. अच्छा था.
Okay, so now as a reminder, before we go on to Hasina Ji's Shairis, today we will reflect on, am I being a taker or am I being a receiver? Okay, now I had written down some words. I'd like to read them out to you. And likha tha. 1 second. So what, there is a big difference between a receiver and a taker. Okay, so takers are those people who want to take because they think that it's a right to take and they have no desire to give anything in return unless there is something in it for them, right? So this is a mindset of scarcity. They have a belief that the world owes them, दुनिया मेरे ऋणी है. Yeah, receivers are open to they're open to take whatever is offered, and whatever is offered they will accept it with gratitude and humility. And remember one thing, the taker has less self-worth. Okay?
सर एक क्वेश्चन है.
Yes.
एकलव्य क्या था जी, टेकर या रिसीवर?
रिसीवर था ना वो.
उसको चाहिए था तो उसको मिल थोड़ी रहा था सर. वो तो उसने लिया, एफर्ट करके लिया.
नहीं, वो सिर्फ एफर्ट वो ऑब्जर्व कर रहा था.
ओके.
राइट. टेकर हो जाता तो he would have gone and pestered the Guruji and said कि नहीं, you have to take me in your school, this and that.
Okay, right sir, right.
So he was there, he was observing. He says ठीक है, नहीं दे रहे तो मैं तो receive करूंगा.
All right sir.
See, if you go to the teacher, he teaches you formally. There's a different type of learning, right? Here he is there just observing and receiving whatever he can.
Perfect sir, thank you.
The universe really made him so good that the Guruji had to ask him for his thumb, कि कहीं वर्जन से अच्छा ना हो जाए.
Yeah.
So a taker takes because he has an agenda.
Yes.
And his consciousness is of scarcity and lack, वो हमेशा want and need में रहता है. right?
जी
And he does not feel worthy of receiving. Therefore, he has to take in order to have enough. Now, receiver accept what is given because he knows he is worthy of receiving. मुझे जो होना है, जो मेरा जो बनता है, जो मेरी वर्थ है, उतना तो मुझे मिलना ही है.
जी
And he is quite open to giving also. You notice the takers of this world, they don't like to give. They only like to take.
yes. Thank you, sir.
Right. Thank you. So just keep this in mind because there'll be a big tussle going on. Yes, Major Saab, go on. Go ahead. Major Narayanan, you wanted to say
Question
something.
in the
Please
chat
go.
also, sir. Give without remembering and receive without forgetting.
Yeah, this kind of a giver has no problem. He knows that whatever he has to receive, he will always receive it. There's no doubt on that. He doesn't even think about it. Am I right?
True, sir.
Major Saab, am I right in what I'm saying?
Very true, sir.
Yeah, he just keeps serving and he knows that whatever he has to get, he will get. And if he doesn't get
Yes,
also,
sir.
he trusts the universe to say, all right, you don't want to give me now. Maybe now is not the time. Great. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you, everyone.